Hello everybody, video here for you today. You are in luck again because it is time for the Curse of Oak Island deep dives.
Deep,
Number
deep dive.
4. That's right, number 4.
Number 4, Quattro.
And if it's a deep dive, that means I'm not alone. Over here to the left would be the one and only Zig, who's going to
Hey, everybody.
amaze and probably confound
Should I
you
say
as
good
well.
morning, everyone?
Yeah, that's right. It is. It is after midnight Eastern time, and so it is. Good morning, everybody.
5-5.
That's right.
Cinco de Mayo.
That's right. Any
I,
opening
I'm not, I
words?
do not have tequila.
What now?
I do not have any tequila right now, so sorry.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh, that's right. It is Cinco de
Cinco
Mayo,
de Mayo. It's
also
my
known
sister's birthday.
as Revenge of the Fifth.
Revenge
May
of
the
the 5th.
4th, Revenge of the Fifth. You
May the
got it.
4th.
That's right.
See, you should have had a little Revenge of the 5th icon up there.
That's all right. Maybe I'll edit it in. We'll see. Probably won't, though.
Probably not.
Alrighty. So normally, what we do on this show is I hit record and we look at Zig's desktop and
Pretty
then he
pictures.
talks. He says talks a lot and I ask dumb questions.
That's not true.
So let's start that. I ask semi-intelligent questions.
Steve asks intelligent questions, and he
Okay.
reminds me of things that probably lead us down other paths.
Yes. Which is great sometimes, and sometimes you get flooded out.
That's right. All right, well, hey, welcome to Oak Island.
Hey, that's Oak Island. That looks like an elephant.
It does look like an elephant. You know what I don't have on?
The boat in the swamp.
Yeah, there's no ship. There's no ship in the swamp. Oh,
How
dang.
dare you say that? How dare
I
you
know. I
say
turned it
that?
off the other day and I thought
You
about that. I was like, Steve is going to be mad.
you just jinxed it.
Yeah. I'll turn that back on here in a little bit.
No problem. That's what she said.
Uh, hey, so yeah, welcome
Whoops.
to Oak Island. I was trying to think. So, some things that we've done since last time we talked about the U-shaped structure last time, I think.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Surprisingly.
I haven't done a whole lot more on it. I mean, you can see kind of where it's at, where the slipway is.
Mm-hmm.
The little small section. There's a couple of the where the case of the cofferdam was.
In
Uh,
season 6, they built the big
Uncovered this, right?
cofferdam, and they uncovered a slipway. Basically boards, right? Just like logs that's
Yeah,
used
yeah, I
as
guess I made
a
the slipway. Yeah,
slipway to load and unload,
it's
theoretically.
even identified in a wharf in an old survey that I've seen as
Oh, is
well.
it?
Image.
Hmm.
Yeah, let me see something here real quick
All right.
while we're just talking about all that. Image,
A lot of
what
doctors on here.
tunnels? Problem is when you have like 200 images, you're trying to remember them all.
Right. Need a big list. So
Yeah,
I
there
figured out
it
one
is.
thing. ST down there, kids, means the stone triangle. Figured that
Yep,
out.
yep.
Figured that out.
RS is also that's my abbreviate Rose Stone. I think
Right.
it's also
Okay.
shown on some other
Mm-hmm.
surveys as Big Boulder. I believe the reason they called it the Rose Stone is because on a survey map there's actually there was an old rose bush surveyed there as well, just
Okay.
west of it on shore.
Got to call it something.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Sorry, I should have been better prepared for this, but this
No
kind of
problem.
jumped up.
That kind of looks like a oh, not an Anubis, but something like the Egyptian cat. Something like that. You see that design to the part of the middle DR. If you go left there,
Oh,
you see that. You see
over
how the
here.
legs look
Oh
coming
yeah,
down
got you.
like that,
Yeah,
like
that's
Egyptian
so
cat.
that outline is the gravel area of the money pit.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of my gravel
I should have been able to figure
reference.
that out because the stone triangle points straight up. Guess where, kids? To the baby blob.
Yeah. I mean, right to the baby blob, and some people believe the money pit as well, this is one of the original locations of the money pit.
Mm-hmm.
That yellow, again, that's from the flood tunnel maps. There's also shown this yellow line right here is supposed to be another flood tunnel headed towards Storm Triangle. So we see that
Mm-hmm.
depressed area of water now out there. I mean, could all that be because of maybe that's another direction water's flowing in
Now
all
is
this?
that right there, right outside that part of the garden shaft that they hit the water in? Does
Oh yeah,
doesn't
okay.
go
So
that
when we were talking
close?
earlier,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to come back here. U-shaped structure is good. It'll still be there. Um, money pit or garden shaft, purple
Yeah.
box right here.
Sorry about that, folks. I got him distracted. Sorry about
Yeah,
that,
no, it's
Zig.
okay.
Can you?
I just was falling back on what we talked about before. I was waiting for
Okay.
you to start a topic so I could get into it.
Okay.
Um, garden shaft, purple.
Mm-hmm.
The proposed tunnel line
Right.
in purple here. So baby blob.
Yeah.
If you don't know, DR is for drilled rock.
I did not.
So
I knew it,
those
but I
are
didn't remember it.
so again, zooming it back out again. These are all reference points of drilled rocks. I think this one is called the site rock on some of the surveys, but that is essentially the drilled rocks. So here are the other two that they
Mm-hmm.
talked about last. Was that this season or last season? They
This
talked about that.
season, because
Yeah, so
they
through
followed it from Cone
CC
C
through CA,
on the shore. Yep, through
and then
there, and
this
then all the
this drilled
way.
rock was roughly halfway between the money pit
Mm-hmm.
or the garden shaft and cone A.
Yes,
So if you follow along that line, basically those are all right in line
and
with
that
where
takes
the garden
you
shaft is, pretty
right to
much.
it. Yep.
Yeah, and this other drilled rock is right on top of Baby Blob. So was that a differently drilled rock identifying the top of where the actual location was?
And was it
So
moved?
I like to have it as a reference point because
Mm-hmm.
it brings me right back to the Baby Blob a lot.
Could that have been
Uh,
moved?
could have been. I'm sure it's moved. I'm sure it's not even there anymore. I mean, there's a
Right.
tent
Right.
sitting on top of it right now. So
True. Good point.
unless they've, I don't even know technically if Steve has a survey point for it because it might not have even been there by the time he got started.
Mm.
If he does, he's got a reference point from one of these surveys like I do. And hold on a second, let me put something here
I'd
because I
like
know
to
where these
believe he
are.
has one.
Yeah, me too. I mean, he's a pretty thorough dude.
Mm-hmm.
So. Uh, it's so weird. You get me on here and I go brain dead trying to find these images and stuff. When I'm not on here, I can flip right to them.
Has that affecting a lot of people?
What I don't want to do is turn on a whole bunch of stuff and then have to. Like, sorry, folks. Bear with me. So this is one of the images. I don't know the date of this image, but it shows the original like 1850, 1866 cofferdam, the five
Mm-hmm.
fingers, cave in.
And the
It even has
theoretical.
it even has 10x on here,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't think that's
Yeah.
right. So this is somewhat newer.
But that's
Shaft 7.
theoretical flood tunnel location and so forth.
This sketched line is where they're thinking it was to.
Just thinking.
That's the thing is there's like so my purple line here
Mm-hmm.
is based on the drilling. that they've done where they've come across wood. So I just ran it out to the cave-in pit because I figured that's be roughly as far as it'd go. But I think the last place they drilled wood was DN 26.5. This is where they pulled out the 7-foot piece of wood at 105 feet. So that's the line that is our proposed flood tunnel that goes under the garden shaft, right?
Right.
This yellow line that's on here, I don't know how well you can see it on your screen. That's that is another flood tunnel location path, the 500-foot distance from off of not this map, but turn this one off. Yeah, this is the one that I have it from. So you can see how my yellow lines are following the 5 fingers there.
Yes.
Following on through the cave-in pit. Excuse the guys. Coming down to what was believed to be the original money pit location. And I've tried to tie these back to other pits like 8 to 11. 17 is believed to be the garden shaft pit. 17. So you can see even on that map, it showed another 300-foot flood tunnel heading down south towards the Stone Triangle. So that's where that line work comes from.
Okay.
Again, I like to try and show where my work comes from because I'm not just making up these lines. These are all from associated surveys and things that have been shown on the show.
It'd be easier if you made them up.
It probably would.
Yeah.
So if we go back into here, when we were talking earlier, this was obviously flipped 90 degrees, so we were looking at it, and it was a lot harder to kind of try and picture how that flood tunnel was coming from north to south when we were talking about it earlier.
Right.
So you can see here, if it's coming from the flood drains, and this is the path of the flood tunnel, the purple, that would go under the garden shaft here and into the baby blob here, right? Which DNA, DN 12.5, CN 11, G 10.5, all were gold locations per Dr. Spooner and Dr.
Michael.
So the reason that this photo is right here is because I didn't capture it, but Steve got it for me, and this is the one that Jeff had on the podcast showing the tubes for the caisson locations.
I have my uses.
So right before we got on this, hey fellowship. So right before we got on this, I was just trying to make some really. So these green, I don't know if does this green show up on the screen very well? Can change.
Yes. Yeah, we can see the green circle.
Okay. Yeah, so there's green circle here, 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 and here. So my assumptions were Aladdin's, right?
Mm-hmm.
H8. I believe they want to go back to E8 and or so the cyan line here is from Jeremy Church's anomaly, the mound in the seismic. So I feel like one of those is right in that area. That being this one right here.
Right, and these are planned, or at least for semi-planned, caisson locations for season 12.
Yeah, right. As far as we know,
next year, that they will be heading any moment now. They'll be heading back to Oak Island to start work if they haven't already. It is May.
Yeah, it's May. I mean, that's usually when they start showing up, right?
Some of them probably
And
have been there a month.
the view from the other end of the causeway or whatever that Facebook page is, the lady that lives right there before you go across the causeway, she posted some images today and said it was a good day to get out on the kayak and cruise around. She's one of those like Colin goes out on the boat and circles the island and gives us reports. So my other thought was maybe C1 because that kind of looks like what they're going back to with this one over here.
Oh yeah, could be.
It could be going back to C1.
That.
I mean, that is where they found other glow shiny objects, right? Even when they.
Yes.
My other thought was it could. Remember, remember the anomaly, the other anomaly
Hmm.
from Jeremy Church's,
Yes.
the one that looked like Oklahoma or whatever, and
Yes.
was 12 by 12 or 12 by 15. My
Hmm.
other thought is that may be further
Oh.
over there, but relationship wise, it looks like it's really close to these
Hmm.
other two. And then I just took a stab at what I thought
Hmm.
they were going to try and do up here. So, oh, sorry.
In your opinion or
Oh, here we go.
recollection, yeah, I can't, I can't remember. What was my question? Oh, in all the caissons, did they hit water in all of them, or did some of them they not? Because I seem to remember, I think all of them had water in,
Yeah, I want to say that every one of them that they
or
threw the
almost
hammer
every
grab
one of
down
them.
into came
Hmm.
up pulling water out with it, right?
Yeah,
Especially even when they got down to the bottom of what one was it that the very last one
yeah.
they did.
So when they get just sand, that is
Yeah,
interesting.
when they can't go past bedrock, I guess.
Yeah,
So anyway, again, like I said, I took a stab up here, so I'm
yeah.
figuring Baby Blob
Hmm.
back to Bravo Sierra,
Yeah.
sand, miserable sand. And, see, maybe it's not because if you see that cyan box and the red box and that yellow box,
Yes.
remember those four. There's the gold right there too. The four shaded areas they had on that one.
Hmm.
So maybe they're gonna scooch this way a little more.
Right. And but they
And then
do
I just
have.
kind of offset based on a grid. I don't know how feasible that is, but it would be off of the Avanti one and Bravo one, if that's what those are actually
Mhm.
named. So just speculating. There's my pine tree I located. Both of them.
Oh,
Two
good.
little green lines.
Can you turn down your sound and still hear me? Turn down a little
Can
bit.
I turn down my sound and still
Yeah.
hear
Don't you
you?
have it on speaker coming out of speakers?
I do. Yeah. Is it
Yeah,
coming through
it's
too loud?
coming back. It's coming back. Everything I say is coming back a little bit.
What about now?
It's like testing. No, good.
Huh, okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
That's weird because we didn't adjust anything from before.
It did it a little bit before, I think, too.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So I don't need this anymore.
Okay.
I think I like where those are at. Okay. And yeah,
But
we'll have to wait till season 12 to find
yeah.
out. But
So in case you missed it, this is what they're planning on doing with the bunch of caissons, but they're also going to do some more probe drilling to the northwest.
over here, you think?
Well, where those six or eight
Oh,
dots
over
were,
here.
or
These. Yeah, right.
is that just exactly west? I
I'd say that's pretty close to
mean,
what they're
north
thinking
and
about.
west. Yeah.
Because that still gives them a good 3 feet, 4 feet between caissons.
Right,
And they've
I
never,
mean not probe drilling, but borehole drilling,
yeah, right, borehole. Yeah.
and that's going to be further away from the garden shaft than they have any of the caissons set for now. So depending on what they find, I'm talking about the row because they're going to clear everything out there so they can do borehole drilling to get do
Yeah,
testing.
where they showed like those 9 dots or whatever.
Yes.
That would be this. Oh, here, let me just see if I can pull
Oh,
it over
is
here
it? Is
more.
it just? It's just hidden under all that other stuff.
Yeah, hold on. I mean,
Hidden under
sometimes
the
this gets cluttered.
rocks.
Let me turn some
Yeah.
stuff off here for
Okay.
just a minute. It'll
That's
help.
why I couldn't see it, and I was thinking it was further away than that.
Excuse
I
me.
guess not though, because I gotta remember how small the garden shaft is in this, and so I gotta Got to do
Yeah,
spatial.
proportionally. I mean,
Yeah,
the garden shaft is smaller than a 10-foot caisson,
mm,
so because it's only what 8 by 8, I believe.
true.
Yeah, so it's pretty tight quarters. I mean, and the scale is everything. These boreholes are that's 1 foot across or 2 foot
Mhm.
across, I believe. So they're really only like 8 inch. I just do it so you can see them a little better.
Yeah,
So I think the grid that you're talking about is which would be northwest of the garden shaft right
right.
here.
Correct.
So that's going to be these 4 caisson is kind of what they had shown. The 9 dots, I mean, they probably will pre-drill these prior to putting a caisson in,
Oh,
right?
I didn't realize. Okay, yeah, I didn't realize those. I thought those were all closer to the garden shaft um, than the borehole locations. But now I realize I'm just spatially not thinking about it correctly again.
Yeah, because what we talked about that one, and it's about 15 feet. This is
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
Bravo Sierra right
that
here.
makes sense. And it probably also
Yeah,
confused me because all the rocks were gone as well in that graphic that
yeah,
showed the
right.
dots.
Yeah,
So
I've
it
got them
just
on here.
confused
So
me. So sorry about that, folks. If anybody else is spatially deficient like myself, that might have helped you. But
well, if anything I can do to help you understand better, you
sure,
just let
sure,
me know.
sure. No, I just had to figure it out.
Okay.
Figure it out.
Because essentially, I think they're going to go 15 feet from the garden shaft, draw a line, place 9 holes, go another 15 feet or so, do another 3 borings, go another 15 feet, do another 3 borings. I don't have those shown. What I did was I put one of the caissons on top of Bravo Sierra, and then this is what was Avanti 1 and Bravo 1, these two
Right.
red dots here.
And
So those are the other boreholes that they already have drilled.
at any minute, of course, they can get some kind of new information that is plenty early. Time to They can change locations of any of these
Yeah, there's nothing said
caissons and
about these.
boreholes, and
Obviously,
so
these are just proposed. Yeah, based on
yes.
what we saw on the TV. We're just guessing. What seems to make sense to us and what they mentioned. Because I think you could literally go drill a hole into Aladdin's and just drop right down into it.
Paging
Yeah,
Tony
10 foot,
Sampson.
stop at 135. You're going to just have
Uh-huh.
penetrated the roof of it, put some
Paging
scuba gear on, and call up John Chatterton again.
if he well or Tony can Tony do that?
Tony probably would do that one. I don't know. I
Because
don't.
it's higher up, right?
What it's
Like by
135
100
to
and
100, 135 to 155 feet. So
right,
it's
and
about 100
10x
feet higher than
10x was
10x.
210, right? Something like that.
236 to the floor.
236. Yeah. So maybe Tony.
It was deep.
Yes.
In fact, I'm just going to turn this on so that we can go back to it again if we need to.
Didn't Jeff get his? No. Didn't Matty get his diving license
Oh, did he?
or something like that? I can't remember. Somebody did. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember if it was somebody on the show or if it was Jeff or
Sorry,
somebody
what?
like that.
Not yet. I will. I will before I come to bed. Okay. No problem. I love you too. Have a good night. Rest well. Okay. See you soon. All right, Dan. All right. Bye. Okay. So I brought this up. This is something I've done new because I started thinking about where depths of things are at and how I could relate that. So I was like, well, I'm just
Yeah.
going to draw a cross section through. So essentially, if you
Mm-hmm.
take lines from my plan view up here
Mm-hmm.
and you extend them straight down, you would pretty much have a true section through a view looking north. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, I
When
think
North is
just
straight up.
you're right. Yes. And not Paula Abdul. Straight up
Correct.
downtown.
Do you really want to love me
Yeah,
forever?
right. So here you can see also what I did was I found an old study that showed some of the relationships of where the levels of till and glacial deposits and the anhydrites break up at. So I kind of put those on here as well because
Interesting.
it,
Who
it
did those
really,
studies?
what was it? I want to say
Night
MIT, but it's
Shyamalan?
not.
Oh,
It's not MIT. It's like Murphy.
Night Shyamalan? I can't remember
Doesn't
his name.
I swear that Marty wears their shirts sometimes.
Oh,
What college is that? Starts with an M.
I don't
Anyways,
recall, so the Michigan group had them come out to do that. So that's been since they've been involved?
no, I don't even know if this is. I think this is pre-Michigan group. Hold
Oh,
on. If you give me just a minute, I can find the folder that has this. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, we're talking. Or maybe I can't.
that's all right. You can find it later and put in the comments if you remember.
Yeah, so there's a whole PDF, and it's like 90 pages long. And in the PDF, it was a whole bunch of other bore drillings that were done on Oak Island. And I can't. I wish I could remember the dang.
Was there a
There's so
year on
much.
it?
Yeah, I know it's got
Just
a
looking
year
for
on it. I'm
something.
just trying
Oh,
to
oh, but
remember.
you can't, but you don't have it. You
Trying to remember
have the
where I put the
data.
PDF to tell you. I saved all these in
Mm-hmm.
specific folders for later
Mm-hmm.
reference. And sometimes I do it based on season and when I'm actually looking at the stuff. But on this one, I put it somewhere else. Crap. All right. Well, I'll figure out what that is, and I'll let you know because
Okay.
I can post a link to it because it was a downloadable PDF that was free to review. Anyway, it's 90 pages long, and it had some great cross sections. In fact,
Good thing it wasn't more than 90 pages because it would have flooded on the 91st page.
yeah, there it is.
How about that?
Yeah, so I knew I could find the image of it. Anyway, so it's the geological profile at the Money Pit in 10x, and you can basically see where they did the
Mm-hmm.
divisions of the interglacial deposits, the Heartland Till, the broken anhydrites. They even identified these as open cavities or very loose soil. And these would be like what I was telling you about earlier when they do a boring sample
Mm-hmm.
and they do a report of it. It usually has like, so this would be borehole W6. And then this was this particular type of hard brown to gray clay till with boulders up to this point, right? 80 feet. And then they found hard gray stratified clay from 80 to 100 feet, right? So that's kind of what those drill charts show. So what I did was I transposed that onto this again just to make it a little easier to understand what's going on at the. So with that being turned off, what I also have on here is 10x down to the 236 feet. So there is the chamber at 10x, the little red dot right there. And that's the 27-inch pipe that John Chatterton went down.
Mm-hmm.
This is what he used railroad car
Yep.
and cut them into 50-foot links and pretty much,
Yep.
yeah. So that's what that represents. This is the flood drains, the finger drains.
Mm-hmm.
Not to scale, not as accurate as I think it could be, but kind of a representation based
Not
on
painted
flood sea
either.
level,
It's all right though.
right? flood tunnel down to 90 feet, which coincidentally falls in line with where we found the 7-foot wood. Garden shaft down to 106 feet. And then this is where I was talking about earlier, where the money pit sits lower than 10x in the garden shaft, kind of.
Yeah.
So this is original grade, and then this is that lower depression area. So that slope we kind of see next to the garden shaft is this area right here. And actually on here, I've even got, see this dashed triangular feature? Yeah. That's Dunfield.
Dunfield. That's what I was.
Yeah.
So you think that's why we have that? You think that's all?
Why that depression is there?
Or mostly
Yeah, I think he's partly
Dunfield
responsible for that. Yeah.
that
Yeah, I
had that.
think he affected. I mean, you can see almost that whole depressed area is the width
Yeah.
of his 100-foot. So,
Right.
and what he went down to, I think 123 feet or so is where he got to.
Something like that. Supposedly 140, but that was only.
And then I think Baby Blob is actually 80. What is it? 80 to 120 feet is what they call that.
I think so.
So this line should actually probably be up more like here. Let me see if I can
fix that right now. CAD in action, ladies and gentlemen.
So really, the Baby Blob is fairly large. I mean, when you really think about it.
That's what Rick was saying in the last episode. He says we're looking for a room.
You're right.
A vault is what he was saying.
Right. A room that's like 20 by 20 by 20. Right. How do we miss that?
Right.
Well, they missed it.
It only takes being off an inch. Or less, even.
Yeah, right. And we've already talked about how a degree over 100 feet is like so many feet.
And,
so.
And as soon as the drill starts walking,
yep.
Which means going off course instead of straight down.
Yep.
Yep.
And so even like right here, so the yellow is the Baby Blob area. A is what is Aladdin's, what it's like 130, I think. It's like 130 to 150 feet.
That sounds right.
So even this could come up a little bit here. So even that's probably more realistic of Aladdin's. And then this is like where I think the chapel vault is over here. So well below Dunfield, well away from well to the west of the money pit. And in fact, let me give you a relationship. So if I go back to the plan view, I don't have it on.
It might be when we're talking at the same time. Let's see.
That we're getting echo?
I think. Maybe your mic's activating, voice activation, and then, so if we talk at the same time, I think that might be happening. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, because
start talking.
On the right here, when I talk, it puts a green outline around my face. And I'm not getting any feedback from you when you're talking.
Okay. Yeah, it's not happening right this second.
Weird.
Okay.
Let's see what I highlighted here.
We'll establish a phone line at one point, and then people can call in. And they can tell us to... they can say, well, should be off. You should change this by this much, and
right, move this 5 feet. Okay, so that's something else I want to say.
If they donate $10, we'll change it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you can
that's
keep
it.
keep a save
we'll move
file
any
of
lines
the right
for $10.
Thing. Right, that's right.
I don't know. I don't just do anything for money. But anyways, that's something else I want to say while we're on here. This would be my disclaimer for this, is that I don't know if I've said this before, but something I don't do is I don't go chasing lines. So even if I find something that's not close to where I've got my stuff, I use that as a relationship or a reference.
Yeah.
This is all just spatial. Nothing is locked in stone.
Isn't that spatial?
Isn't that spatial? So with that said, when they drilled K6 to 183 feet, they found wood at 183 feet.
Mm-hmm.
This cyan line represents where I think the chapel vault is. So if this is Chapel's shaft, this is Heddon's shaft, this would be H8, this is C1.
That's a ways away from everything.
Garden shaft is way up here.
Yeah, that's a ways away from everything. That where you
It
think the
really
chapel
is.
vault is.
And there's no plan for them to even try to
That
put
would
a case on there.
have. I'm assuming they have data, but I
So,
mean, if there's no water, you can't test. You can't test the
well,
water for
so
gold, right? They could
this
test the
is where the
wood.
moon, I believe, showed
Could just be
also
water. Mm-hmm.
at 260 feet. Yeah, so muon's there.
Ah,
So there's my chapel vault in section.
okay.
So when we go back and I'm talking about where I think the chapel vault is, if this is the money pit, then that's where I think the chapel vault is in relation to Baby Bob and Garden Shaft. With muon all the way down here.
Hmm.
I think it really blows your mind when you look at it this way because you think about how deep they went with 10x.
Yeah.
If they want to ever find that muon anomaly, look how deep they're going to have to go into the bedrock.
They're not a fan of that.
Anhydrite. What's that?
They're not a big fan of doing that.
No, they're not. I don't think so. Yeah.
They.
Look how hard. Look how tough it was to get to 106 feet.
Yeah.
So it's just cool to see how when you kind of put things all together. Like I could see all this kind of in my head, but I'd never really looked at it side view. And I think
Right. I
just
can't
seeing some of
relate.
this.
So it's really cool for me because having, the bad spatial awareness. Um,
Well, that's
like as
what I'm
far
here
as
for, just
comparing
to
sizes and so forth, phrasing.
help everyone
Um,
visualize it.
yep. So I appreciate
And
it.
here's this blue line. That's sea level, so that's kind of where our flood tunnel, when Garden Shaft flooded, it flooded from 106 all the way up to here. So, and they want to come down to 55 to drill. That's kind of what this line was for.
Yeah.
That's kind of where they're
Guess
thinking about
they
trying to get back down to
guess they
drill because
couldn't make
there's
that happen, or they decided not to.
whatever they decided, right?
I mean, it could have been a deal where they said, "Well, let's not try to do that, and instead figure out what we need to do to be able to use the garden shaft again." If they did that, hopefully they did, because I'd like to be able to tunnel, but that's not going to help you below 100 feet unless
Right.
you tunnel downwards.
Well, when we were talking earlier about drilling, this is about the level they were drilling at. This is like 97 feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, look, it's right in that
right
tunnel.
in the flood tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes sense because
Mm-hmm.
the boards they would have found would have been right along here, right? Those pieces of
So
wood that they found.
partially blocked flood tunnel.
What do you mean?
If the pieces of wood, you're
No, you
saying
know
they
that.
would be the bottom of the or part
Well, I'm
of
thinking
the flood
if they
tunnel.
were the reinforced part of the tunnel, right, the
Mm-hmm.
floor of the tunnel,
Yeah.
then they would have ran along where I'm pointing from here to here. So you would have had and they would have been going into the screen
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
lengthwise. They would have been going into the screen.
I see what you're saying.
So if I zoom back out and go back to the plan view where we
Mm-hmm.
were talking about earlier, so I think those boards. This is garden shaft, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the tunnel path. So those boards would have been in this area right through here.
Yeah.
And then when they were drilling
Yes.
into this corner.
Yeah,
towards the baby
I
bottom.
didn't think it was quite that close to the corner, but
So look,
I could be wrong.
if I go
Hmm.
line from the node to, let's say, the center of that caisson, I mean, it's not in the corner, but it's really close to the corner.
Hmm. Okay.
So even if you rotated that drill bit
Right.
to be towards the center of line of
Yeah,
the tunnel,
that looks
then
like a
that's
little bit.
probably a little more like it was.
Yeah, just a hair away from the actual corner instead of being right up on it. I think,
And
but
then somebody asked the question, well, how far did they drill in when they actually hit water?
that
Because
is
they were pretty far in.
that is a fabulous question that we
Yeah,
did not
because I
get the
mean
answer to.
this distance right here, that's 10.4 feet from the wall of the garden shaft to the wall of the tunnel,
It
basically.
seems like that would be very useful, important information,
Uh-huh.
and probably maybe on a need to know basis. But I guess they know it, and so
Well, yeah, I mean, what, they share 10% with us,
right, doom
so
is right.
we don't know what they show us.
Correct.
That's why we're making another show about the show
That's right.
that talks about another show that talks about the show
Several
to
different
to
videos
show this
about it.
show and then my show and then yeah
All of it. Yep,
the Coach and Zig show.
that's right.
So I mean, I don't know, Steve. What do you think?
Yeah.
Sounds right, huh?
Yes. Your logic is sound.
We could be completely
So
wrong. Excuse me.
no,
Um,
no, we're not completely wrong.
no.
No way.
So there's Money Pit and
Mm-hmm.
speculation about caissons and what's coming up for season 12. I
Yeah.
wanted to show you. We talked about this
Mm-hmm.
lot 5, the
Right.
dots that keep moving.
Yep.
So
Trying to
I'm
figure
going
out
to
where
tell you
both
where
features are.
I came up with the logic for why I've got it where I got it.
Yeah, they've had that thing for, if you're saying that's the round feature, feature one, they've had that
Yes.
thing way closer to the east lot line
Oh, over
than
here.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they've had
Yeah,
it
they
way
picked
over there
it over
before. It
here.
does jump around.
The last one that you showed it right here in the
Hmm.
center of lot 5 with the other one
Yeah,
back here.
correct.
Okay, so what I have on here, this is the LiDAR image, and I don't have a date for this LiDAR image. This was one that was shown and shared in Discord, and I even asked, I said, do you have a date for it? And they're like, no, so I can't tell you what date it was, but it's fairly current. But the cool thing about LiDAR is you can see like raised features very easily on LiDAR because it cuts through all the vegetation.
I wonder if
So I'll
Carmen Legg can Carmen date the LiDAR.
Carmen date the LiDAR.
Yeah, I don't
That
know
would
if he
be cool.
does that or not.
Yeah, I don't know either. Um, but on here, it's very easy to see like raised areas for the road.
Yeah.
I've kind of like what I did was I created a layer called LiDAR feature and I started drawing lines over the lines to see like stone walls between 24 and 25 and
Hmm.
26, 27. Is this the snake
Hmm.
foundation or the snake path? You know, there's lots of features that
Speaking of
Lake and Ship houses.
26, did you get
Yeah,
into that?
yeah.
The as far as the well
Oh, there's the well.
and a star alignment. Did you look into that yet?
Oh no. So I haven't even turned on the star
Oh, that's
alignment yet.
okay.
But we're gonna get there.
Oh, we are okay. I oh,
Yeah,
we're gonna do it live.
I was kind of gonna save that for last. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's cool. I'm just kind of working through the progression of
Hmm.
what I've been working on. Um, so again, on LiDAR, let me turn these off.
Previously on LiDAR.
Previously on. Okay. So if I turn that text off, so on LiDAR, I believe that was the round feature. So you can see it's kind of got a depression.
Hmm.
I took
Which it did start out that it was fairly
Keith did good.
shallow too. I think what a foot
Yeah,
maybe a
yeah, it
foot and
was.
a half at most.
Yeah, it got deep pretty quick, and I'm still working on like the exact placement, but I think I've got the orientation correct, and I've taken
Hmm.
the drone shot, and I've kind of put some reference lines on the stones for myself. You can see the edges of of the dirt stairway that they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about. I pretty much traced that entire stone because I thought it'd be relevant. It almost looks like a threat. I think that's the one they called the threshold.
Hmm.
So my
Huh?
thought is, if this is a stairway, here's wall, wall, round feature. This almost looks like it could be stairs up to something even. So crazy. But when we talked earlier, this from here to here is 100 feet. And if you want to know
Right.
how I got the scale of this image,
I'll just take your word for it. But go ahead, tell us.
this bucket.
Oh,
So the distance across the top of this bucket is 12 inches.
standard
It's so
bucket.
yeah, it's just so funny how you can go look what's the dimensions of a 5 quart bucket? Well, they're pretty standard.
Even in
And I
Canada,
and I even verified it by the dustpan too, because the dustpan is like I think it's 11 inches across there or so.
like they did that
Dustpan is
on
just smaller
purpose.
than the lip of the
Yeah.
pavement. Yeah. Anyways, crazy things you look for to try and find scale. And then this isn't the full excavation. This is just a drone image. I think this was from from March. So it's from 2 or 3 or 4 episodes ago. And then I didn't have the new image yet to take, but that's kind of where I'm getting closer on lot 5. I don't have
Okay.
anything on the rectangular feature. When you get into that kind of scale and that small, it's so hard to make out detail in LiDAR. Just, I mean, they're flying this up from 1,000 feet or so when they do these. I don't know.
Right. You basically got to be a lost jungle city to be seen, right?
Oh,
For
yeah.
those are easy to see because it's so big.
Right. Things that are big are easy to see, just like this feature. What is this, Steve? They've never talked about this.
That is a star destroyer.
That's what it looks like. I mean, the Revenge of the Fifth.
That's right.
Seriously. And look,
Hmm.
one of the Sephiroth falls right on it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what is that? And then this little feature right here is really close to Xena's December Triangle feature, also.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then I don't know if I ever showed you this.
And what would that be for? Just an alignment?
Yeah, I
Just
mean, what is that?
another alignment
What
thing.
is it? Because it's actually on the side of a hill. I mean, it's hard to see in this image, but there's a ridge line that kind of runs where my cursor's going
Mm-hmm.
down through here. And then there's a little saddle feature that runs right through here. And then again, ridge line. So, and then everything drops off to the swamp this way. You can kind of see it by the shadows. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is a very steep face of the drop off between the hill here,
Hmm.
the road, and down to Coney.
How far
So,
can you zoom in on that star destroyer? I was just trying to look to see if you could see anything else happening there. Not really.
well, I was getting ready to turn on a layer because I may have like really hurt some people's heads on this one on Facebook because I posted this.
Eh,
So
keep them on their toes. It's doing well.
the 8 point. Remember this star from a couple of episodes ago?
I do.
Isn't it funny that that one corner of that star looks just like that feature on the island?
Hmm.
And then is it really weird that it also almost falls in line with some of the Sephiroth components is really close to cone C, and I mean, if it was just a slightly different scale, it might even. Anyways, I don't have enough time in the
That's
day.
another right.
Like having a day job really prevents me from
Same dog.
further studying these theories.
Same dog.
I'm probably going to help somebody else solve this riddle,
Sure.
and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't think I've ever shown you that, but I posted that on Facebook and was like, God, that looks an awful lot like that shape right there.
Oh, something I forgot to talk about that on Looks Ahead. I forgot to say that I would like to see them say what was at each Sephiroth point
Oh, sure.
to see whether there was a stone at each one of them, or or just say no, there wasn't one at this one. That kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, because what? We know Cone C's there, Cone A's there,
Mm-hmm.
Headstone's blown up,
All right.
Cone B is there. They did find a flat stone at Mercy.
Yep.
I don't know that they've ever looked for this
With
one.
a triangle on it.
I'm not sure they've ever
Mm-hmm.
looked for this one. Here's Beauty.
I would look for that one just because the Star
John Edward
Destroyer is
Beauty.
there.
Yeah, that one right there. Right.
Nature doesn't do that.
It's right on the Star Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right. Nature doesn't. And then, if you do this, so that's again those magnetometer lines.
Mm-hmm.
And then I even went further, Steve. I went and did
I bet you
this.
did.
Yeah, I went and did this. I made it real confusing. So I just completely hatched everything so you could see the differences in yellows and greens and all. But I mean, I don't know. I might be wanting to look in this area right here and this area right
Yeah.
here. But I'm with you. Why? Tell us what's at every Sephiroth.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a stone or was there not a stone?
Right.
And we know they found one at the Kingdom Stone. That's the one that Peter
And if
Amundsen
there
found.
was a stone, check what's underneath it. Could be something
Yeah.
interesting underneath it.
I mean, they found hair in a stone under CE,
That's correct. In the
and we might find out
Coney Island
what animal it
episode.
is eventually.
Yes, I thought we'd get that on the
I thought we
finale.
would too in the finale. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the I was glad that Jeff rated it a D as well because that's kind of exactly how
Mm,
I felt about it. I was real close to giving it an F just because I was
wow.
until they showed the map on the war room table.
Right. You were out.
I was like, this doesn't have anything
Well,
of use for me.
yeah.
And then I was like, oh,
I think it's the shortest time before they cut to the war room season
oh,
end
the shortest
meeting
amount of time
because
before, yeah,
it
because
was
most
like
of it was,
halfway through the episode and then they did it.
yeah, before they went to, yeah. So I don't know, Steve.
Didn't even give Gary enough time to hit more than one of those flags.
I know. I feel like they got real lazy with the
Hmm.
content towards the end of it.
Hmm.
They're like, look, we're not even going to make a graphic. We're just going to make a Monopoly board, and we're going to cut out tubes and let you place them on the board
That's right.
in the war
Well,
room.
I mean
It was fun.
that is
It
more
was cool.
fun,
It was cool.
and that was more accurate than the graphic they would have made anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was accurate. Probably the most accurate thing they've
Mm-hmm.
showed us ever. So LiDAR kind of
Mm-hmm.
led to that's where it may be. LiDAR has led me to wonder what that
Mm-hmm.
is.
Does the lidar pick up the ship in the swamp?
No, it
No.
doesn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't look underwater,
Right.
so it's not gonna. It
Yeah.
just stops at the surface of the swamp.
I did not know that about lidar.
Yeah, I think it's called something else when they do it underwater.
Sub something
You
Tamako
can still
BD.
do LiDAR underwater, but it's called something else.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah, no, you don't get any features really. I mean, unless it's
Gotcha.
like a. But you can see the peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious what this thing is. What this huge swath of destruction is. I don't know what that is. Doesn't really show up on Google Maps.
We talk about the black area.
Yeah, this real dark area right here, because that's pretty much that's like a shadow being cast by like there's almost like a little half arch thing here. I don't know if you can see where my cursor's drawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we can see
And
it.
then this whole swath. Somebody talked about that Nolan one time just took a bulldozer and pretty much went right
Oh.
out into the swamp. And I think that's partially what some of that is.
Oh. Okay.
This is just his path of destruction.
Oh,
Through.
is it maybe he did that when he was building the peninsula? Maybe he
Yeah,
took
right.
that dirt and put it into the swamp?
Very possible, right?
See,
Just not a lot of reference
Mhm.
points or talked about what those features are.
I have some good ideas sometimes.
You do. I mean, you can even pretty much see the
Sometimes.
quadrilateral on here.
The quadrilateral?
The quadrilateral. And I swear, if you stare real hard enough, you can see the cairns too. But, anyways, don't stare too hard; you'll turn into me.
Don't want that. One is
There can be
enough.
only one. But you can see some other features that line up, like this little depression. I just thought it was interesting that that's a little natural pond right there in the bend of the road. There's another one up here on Nolan's property. Kind of gives me reference points.
Huh.
Oh, in fact, that was something else I was going to tell you.
Natural,
So,
huh?
what was the new thing I did? Oh yeah, our artifact. So where Gary and Alex found the chisel,
Oh.
and then I did
Okay.
the keyhole. Tom Nolan. LU means location unknown, so I just know he found it on lot 9. The copper artifact, the 16th century garnet pin, line 8. The barter token, Emma, 500 years or older, lot
Now is,
7.
now, is this where you just are you just approximating,
Yeah,
or do you know exactly where
correct.
they were? Okay.
Pretty much, if I've got LU on there, it means location unknown.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
I think there's an LU underneath here as well. Oh, 2022 Emma 5.
But it is in the
That
right lot.
that probably should have an LU on it. That was the barter token. The Roman half coin, 300 BC. That was Sandy Campbell that dated it to 300 BC. That's what I was talking about earlier. Because we were talking about the oldest
Yes.
artifacts. He dated that
Num
apparently to
num
300 BC.
numismatist. What is it?
The numismatist. Yes, I'd
Something like
never
that.
heard that word before.
Yep. Coin
The lead barter token,
ologist. Yeah.
the Lot 4 cannon, the exploded cannon that Christopher Brousseau said probably was possibly Portuguese. The ads, the 1797 cartwheel penny. And I do try to put them close to the beach if I know they were close to the beach or if they were near something.
They
Uh,
certainly metal detected at all of Xena's map points, right? They had to have done that.
yeah, I would
Like
guarantee that.
inside that December triangle. I'd be curious about
Oh
that.
no, I don't know. I mean,
I
yeah,
would
that's
like to
like
see what's
right.
inside the Star Destroyer as
I
well.
want to know what's inside the Star Destroyer also. Why is no one? That's Nolan's property, so maybe that's the reason. Well, it's partially on
Hmm.
8, but I
Yeah.
don't know. Tucked in between the road there.
Right. I mean,
Oh,
that's
Samuel
that's
Ball's
noticeable.
tag, 19th century British naval
Uh-huh.
officer, the stone wall, the stone well, the lead bag seal, the Mason Square, the Spanish galleon spike. the ship's railing, the Spanish Maravide, the paved area, the gold-colored knob. There's the stick under the Swampstone,
Right.
703, 656 to 703 AD.
Yep.
Stone Wharf,
Things are getting older.
the trade weight,
Yep.
the cobblestone pathway that Alex, David, and Marty all found going up over the hill, the Chinese cash coin that Gary and Jack found on lot 15. Oh, all kinds of stuff in here. The parchment at 160 feet, the leather bookbinding at 160 feet. That's all H8. Tyrian blue, the pearlware pottery. Thought was to be from Staffordshire, England. The stone shot cannonballs came out of what hole is that? Anyway, you see what I'm getting at.
Yes.
I just started trying to identify coconut fiber, the lead cross, the U-shaped structure, the slipway. First discovered dendro was 1771 on it. So I'm just trying to trying to put some of this information where it's easier to find off and on.
So almost certainly
Swing.
English troops, definitely in the 1770s.
British troops, yep,
Yeah.
sure.
Now,
Yep.
but they
Chinese
possibly
trade coins.
use structures or built on top of structures that were already there.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah,
Why not reuse something that's already been
indeed.
utilized before?
Right.
I was gonna say up here as well that I think that we talked about that maybe being 40 by 60 at one time. I haven't really decided which way 40 and 60 goes, but
Yeah, didn't
if you stare back from this enough, you can almost get a shape of a building outline within
did,
your
didn't you ask Jamie about that
about
in
the
the
length and the
chat, or
width.
did
Yeah,
she answer?
right. Somebody did, and they couldn't remember the exact size.
Oh, okay.
And then I said something about 40 by 60, and then Seth said, "Yeah, I think that's right."
Seth bound and down. He is the one snowman.
Seth bound it
That's
down,
right.
loaded up and trucking.
Yeah.
We're gonna do what they say can be
That's another
done.
shout out to the J-Free 906 podcast. Check him out.
Right. We love
YouTube.com/J-Free09.
Jeffrey. Sorry, I don't have my hat on. It's right here, Jeff. It's right here. Right here. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, that's that. Let me turn this off. And so there you can see the Death Star a little bit better without the
Star Destroyer.
Star. Yeah,
Death
sorry,
Star would be
Star
round
Destroyer.
like all the.
And the is that the December Triangle?
Does that
Here,
have
let me turn
any?
on.
Does that have any meaning anywhere? I never Googled it. Does December Triangle mean anything?
Oh, I mean, good question. Yeah, I don't know. I know that Renee Cope reached out to me at one time and said
Just
she was trying
walk
to do something
away,
to
Renee.
right. Said she was trying to do some work with some of the stellar alignments, trying to figure out about the December Triangle, but I haven't heard if she's made any
Okay.
progress lately. I know she's a busy lady that has a day job as well. So, what was I talking about?
Because it seems like it would be,
Oh, Xena.
a known thing, except unless the people that created it or drew the map originally just named it that themselves, or if it
Yeah,
has
I
any
want to say December
precedence.
Triangle was the translation from French.
Oh, so that could be off too.
So it could possibly not even be December Triangle. Right, right.
We didn't have that lady retranslate everything, did we?
Rich Rowan did. One of the guys in. Hold on, I'll pull his map up here real quick.
Okay.
Boom! Wake up,
Oh,
it's white.
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, second triangle is what he called it.
Oh. And the first one would be the stone triangle then, maybe?
Stone Triangle is
Down there?
actually right
Yeah.
here. pointing to there.
Well, it would seem there
And
would be a first triangle if there would be
oh,
a.
okay. So let me see if I can explain what I'm doing here. So
No.
the green and the red, the green dot and the green circle and the red text, those are from Xena's map, okay? Or as close as I could align Xena's map. This map that you're seeing on here is Rich Rowan, which is a guy that comes into the podcast and also comes into the Discord channel. He did it and kind of cleaned it up and made it easier to read deal. I realigned it again
I'm seeing if everything else is named the same.
to try and see where everything else was going. Oh yeah, so hole under the hatch, valve, second triangle, pond instead of basin.
And it wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't underground vault either on the other
No, it
translation.
was
It was
earth
something vault,
vaulted
earthen
bay.
vaulted bay.
Earth
That's right.
vaulted
I
bay.
knew it
Yeah.
was something
So,
like that. Yeah.
but you can also see though that his points and her points are all really, really close to each other. And that December triangle dot of Xena's and his triangle location show up really close to this LiDAR feature in yellow. So, coincidence? I don't know. I don't believe in them.
Right.
Let me
No
turn
such
that
thing.
off. That
Gibbs
is
Rule
bright.
39.
Yeah, Rule 39. Grady's Rule 39. But again, so red and green text are so hole under the hatch. That was from Xena's map. Valve from Xena's map. In fact, I just got to the point on season 4 where they were getting ready to go look on Blankenship's property and see if they could find a depression on lot 22.
I don't
They were
remember
looking
if
for the
they
hatch.
did or not. I don't remember the outcome of that.
Yeah, I'm still getting there.
But
Like I
hey,
said, I just got to the new Xena stuff.
I got a
So
great
what?
idea. Wish list for season 12. As long as you're hitting all the Sephiroth points, why not hit all the Xena points as well?
Yeah, I mean, right. Because really, they really all fall very closely to other objects. So I think I did a thing. Oh yeah, what I do? Where's it at? Z. I got so much stuff on here. Xena test. So I took I took her original locations from the map and I moved them all together. So you see the white circle
Hmm.
and the green circle. The green circle was stone triangle from her map. White circle is where I moved a new circle to where I know this time triangle is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I did that with all the dots. So when you do that, that moved this circle to here,
Hmm.
this circle to here, so on and so forth. Well,
So they're all off by the same amount.
interestingly, it got December Triangle a lot closer. It got Earth Faulted Bay a lot closer to the Kingdom Stone. Didn't really get the dam any closer. The
Watch your
anchor.
language.
But you can see what I was trying to do.
Yes, sir.
And then even the valve moved on to lot 5, and the hole under the hatch actually moved on to lot 3. So, right. Because again, that map that she did, and I have it here also.
What's out there in the water?
Those 4
In
dots
red. No, in red. To
over here
the
to the left,
east. Yeah. I mean the
that's
west.
Round Island.
Oh, okay.
Xena map. No, not that
Is
Xena
that
map.
the one where the guy said there's a tunnel under his island to Oak Island to the money pit?
So I will tell you this:
There's
that
one of the islands. One of the
Dotadot
guys
has a
that owns one
theory.
of the islands said that.
Oh, I know that there is a theory about there are some reference stones on the Round Island that align with stuff on Oak Island,
Hmm.
but I, I think Frog Island's the one you might be talking about, though,
I don't think so.
where there's tunnel
It
under
seemed to
here.
be. It seemed to be. It was. I don't think it's frog. I can't
No,
remember though.
well, there's Frog and Apple.
I'll write myself
and
a note
red.
to look into that, and we'll get back to you on
Okay,
that.
that was not the Xena map I was looking for.
Tunnel from Island.
This.
They talked to him about it in one episode, but then they didn't ever follow up on it or anything like that. Because it would be very expensive.
Oh, this is the Xena map that Renee did, where she originally overlaid it with the lot lines.
Renee.
And then I brought it back, and it had hole under the hatch. Excuse me. And everything else was kind of lining up again with December Triangle with Xena stuff.
Trying to make Renee the star tonight, aren't you?
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey.
Hey, girl. Yeah, it's funny that she's been mentioned a couple times already.
She better watch this.
Gotta watch out.
I don't know if she watches us or not. I don't know.
Probably not.
Mm.
I would.
Sure you
I'm
would.
just kidding. No, I do. I watch all our shows. Only because I'm a narcissist.
Right. Well, if you don't watch
So
enough,
anyway, there's some Xena stuff.
You can't get better.
I can't.
Right.
There's no improvement. So there's some Xena stuff. And let me turn these back off.
While you do that, speaking of improvement, it just jumped into my head. Now, if they find like a bunch of more parchment, they could call the episode the Parchment Family.
The Parchment Family.
See, that's what jumps into my mind instead of the brilliance
like
that jumps into yours.
Penitentiary.
Right. That's right. That's where I should be in, probably.
Don't be an ice hole.
Right.
That's what these are.
Yeah.
Right here behind your name.
Right.
The 4 ice holes.
Mm-hmm. And did they ever?
Oh, yeah, I know where I was going.
Those out? Did they go check those out?
They did a graphic. They went out there and tried to find them. They never found anything under them. I don't even know that they found any holes there. I don't even know if they went when it was frozen.
But you can see them. Yeah, I mean, they could go in a boat when it's
in a boat.
Cold, I guess, unless the bay doesn't freeze. Does it?
Well,
or does it somewhere?
No, I don't think the bay would freeze, and that's why they saw it, was because those 4 areas
those didn't
freeze. Right.
So if those didn't freeze, what else doesn't freeze? The well on line 26.
Yeah, the well on 26 doesn't.
Does it line up? Oh my goodness gracious! It's not far off.
It's not that far away from each other.
No. And it
could be in alignment with each other.
Kind of almost a straight line.
Let me see here. Let's just draw a straight line.
We're solving everything.
Wow.
Is that where that is? Is your red dot correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was closer to the edge because I know it's the well, and then it's a pond, and then it's the.
Yeah, there's the pond.
Okay.
Hold on. Here's the well and the pond.
To oil my chair.
Squeaky, squeaky.
Yeah.
So there's the well.
Okay.
Here's the freshwater pond.
See, he has it on there.
I do.
Guys, I was just saying, what if I should have known he has it on there.
I mean, if it's something that can be referenced, I'm gonna try and throw it on here.
I got you.
It makes my life easier when I get other images and I'll bring them in.
Mm-hmm. So
just like this little pond.
I was excited there for a minute, but I did see where if it goes straight across, but even like that, I mean.
Yeah, if I did one straight across, it would go more like this.
How close do you think?
5 degrees.
I mean, how far apart?
From here to here?
Yeah.
About 175 feet.
Yeah, but I guess that doesn't really make sense that there would just be 4 circles that don't freeze.
So the only reason there's 4 dots there.
Some kind of path that goes from there to that so that they're related. That's kind of a stretch, probably.
They showed a graphic.
Of course they did.
Surely to God, I called it ice holes. Yep, there it is. Yeah. So they showed this
That's a great
graphic.
name. That could be a great episode name.
All right, ice holes. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Revenge of the Ice Holes.
There you go.
So they shared this graphic on History Channel. I tried to relate it as best I could to everything. Again, they love to. Excuse me. They love to
Skew.
stretch. Straight. They love to stretch these things. So I don't even know if
Yep.
this is real. It's just as close as I can get it.
Skewing it.
And if you look on here, there's actually it has 4 dots right there where my donuts are. So
Yeah.
that's where that came from. So is that where they're really at? I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe because some of their stuff is pretty close. Where was I going next? Oh yeah. So I think you remember from a couple weeks ago we talked about the
That's a stretch that I might remember from a few weeks ago, but you can try me.
well we talked about the star chart from the manuscript from Iceland.
Yes. I do remember
And,
that.
and I said, I'm
Thanks for
going to
having
go
faith
draw
in
on
me.
that,
Yeah, of course you are.
see what that, oh, oops, and go see what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and actually, I think the week before that, we saw this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 4 dot cross with the 16 dots around the outside. And I
Yes,
said,
we
oh, that
did,
looks like a
and that
16
was
win rose
in
compass. Because that's kind of who I
Matibaka
am
or
and what
something
I
like
do
that.
and what everybody knows me for now. And
Matibaka,
then,
I think.
and then Christopher Morford mentioned about Regulus and this relationship of the 4 seasons and the 4 constellations. Okay. So then we went to the episode that had the manuscript from Iceland. And again, I did my thing and was like, oh, look, it's 12 segments. And oh,
Mm-hmm.
look, there's a circle. And oh, look, there's little marks. And oh, it sure looks like there's 365 of them. And oh, oh my God, each of those is a month. And oh, each of those relate to a constellation or a zodiac. And then I was like, oh, look at these 3 inner circles as well. And it didn't even dawn on me what those were until Mr. Morford decided to
Mm-hmm.
post this image.
Taking some time out of your life.
Yeah, well, bear with me.
Yep.
Norse. Really?
It's
Go
really
ahead, ask a question.
it's
I
really
don't.
crazy that everything that comes up can fit. Like, and and you're not forcing it either.
No, like, right. It's very organic. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not really having to manipulate or stretch these objects very
Mm-hmm.
much, or even I'm just bringing them in, putting them on a reference point, and saying, "Oh, scale this to that," and then everything else is like right there.
Right.
It's just like with this. Okay,
Some of them aren't exact, but darn close.
like I said, man, if we're within
Yeah.
6 feet, we're really close. So
Right.
if we can hit it with a 10-foot case on, we're in good shape, right?
They didn't have computers. Right.
Okay, so I took Christopher Morford posted on his Facebook page this celestial mirror of the Edis, which is
Mm-hmm.
the Norse star
I'll be
chart.
with you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I started drawing circles on it and realized that the 3 circles from my geometry, let me, Will this make life easier?
Have you counted the number of stars on that?
No.
Where's Dustin
No.
Hoffman when you need him?
Yeah. So
5,372 stars, definitely.
16 billion.
Yeah.
No, but
Billions of stars.
what I did try to do was I focused on Cygnus and I focused on Lyra and Taurus
You want to
and all the
get
other
down with the Cygnus.
major stars as well as the pole star. The pole star seems to be the center radial of all these other lines that were on this map. And then I said, "Oh, wow, look at that. There's three circles here. And one of them is called the ecliptic." Well, so that's pretty common in like the high horizon. I don't remember what those other two lines are called, but if you notice when I turn back on the star chart from the manuscript, here's those three, the ecliptic line and the top and bottom. I believe they're horizon lines. Again, I'm not an astronomist or an astrologist or I'm just an enthusiast
Yeah.
who is enthusiastic about trying to solve this problem. But you can see again when you start to look at the radials of the months. Okay, I lined up Gemini is with Gemini, Taurus is with Taurus, Pisces is with Pisces, Aquarius is with Aquarius. Oh, I know Sagittarius, Capricornius right there, Sagittarius right there. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. It appears that this star chart that Christopher Morford shared aligns with the manuscript from Iceland. And if you place Cygnus on the island, and here's the relationship I used, right? Coney and the stone triangle. I mean, I swear I'm just seeing things now, but tell me that radial doesn't go through the cairns. Tell me that line doesn't go through the drilled rock.
It does.
Yeah. Tell me that this radial doesn't point to where P. Robinson and a bunch of guys were talking about they wanted to drill between CE and the Kingdom Stone because they thought that's where the vault was located at.
Even if there was a such thing as a coincidence, that's too many of them. It's just too many of them.
It's a lot of references. I mean, look, Stone Triangle to almost to the headstone, practically to the headstone. And again, not manipulating, just drawing lines on top of lines and then putting them into a relationship to see. And then, I mean, good Lord, man, that puts the pole star right out on the nose of the elephant. You don't think anybody that knew astronomy could find the North Star? The pole star?
Yeah, they were navigating. Of course they could.
Right. And then how crazy is it that the Milky Way passes right over Cross? Like Cygnus is right in the heart of the Milky Way, and the Milky Way just passes right across.
They meant to do that.
Somebody meant for it to. Mm-hmm. It's just way too coinky-dinkle for it not to. So anyway, I posted this on Facebook too, and I have literally gotten 4 likes on it. Because I think everybody's like, what is that? First off, and why am I going cross-eyed?
Right.
And
that would be too much for some people.
What is happening here? Yeah, it's like, what do they call it? Mm-hmm. analysis paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
I got that like 2 or 3 times today.
Okay, so that's show me Capricorn.
Show you Capricorn?
Yeah. Yeah.
Capricorn is right here.
Where is it? And what does it look like?
What does it
Which
look like?
yeah, where the can you
For the
trace the stars
constellation?
for me? Yeah,
It
I
would
can't
be
remember.
these stars forming here. I don't have it drawn. Just it's those lines between this grouping of stars here.
Okay. I was just curious because you scroll back out because you see I saw the word December there
December,
and then I saw it being a triangle right there.
a triangle
You
where
know, well coming from the center, you know, your end point of the triangle and it goes out like
down
you know
in
like a
here.
compass is
Yes.
kind of like a triangle.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's what I saw, and so I thought,
December
well,
triangle.
maybe Capricorn has something to do with it, but not that
Well,
I'm aware
Steve,
of.
this is the December triangle pretty much right here. So
Hmm.
is that in December? Look, December triangle.
Hmm.
Huh. Okay.
How about
New
that?
thought.
Yeah.
And the reason I have this aligned this way is because not only because of Cygnus, but because of what we knew about Taurus
Hmm.
and
Dr.
Scorpio
Travis
and
Taylor.
Aquarius and Leo. Yep. So I know it's a lot to take in, but this is like I probably spent 4 hours on this today, just geeking out on it.
It's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stars there and a lot of stuff going on
Hmm.
and a lot of stuff that relates to Dr. Gaspani's stuff
Hmm.
or Professor Gaspani's stuff. And then I think I mentioned it earlier. Doesn't Lyra look an awful lot like the Stone Cairns? Just rotated a little
Oh,
differently.
I think so.
It's even got the little kick
Hmm.
in the stones like this one does. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, look, your ship's back.
Oh, good.
And look, there's a star on it.
That does look like a ship.
But it's just,
I don't know necessarily. That one might be coincidence that they sunk the ship purposely right there, but you never know.
I mean, do you really know? We
And
don't
then
really
they
know.
created a swamp on top of it.
Yeah, right. Well,
So that people couldn't
listen,
find
like
it.
you and I were talking about earlier. Okay, here's the Stone Triangle, right? Season 3, Tony Sampson went out with Alex and them in the boat and the sonar, and they did the side scan sonar, and they found a triangle-shaped rock with a triangle-shaped depression on the top of it. Tony dove on it. Oh, even Marty and Alex dove on it because
Oh, that's right.
even Marty said, "Oh yeah, I mean, if you look at it, yeah, it definitely looks like a triangle, but can I say that it's da 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 da?" And then that other archaeologist, the underwater archaeologist, I lined up every corner on it, and one of them was definitely pointing directly at the stone triangle in the money pit. Well, while we're talking about stars falling in
Yeah,
places, so wouldn't these two stars be roughly in those locations?
it
This would
would.
be the one that they side scanned, and this would probably be the one that Tony Sampson found when he swam in shore further.
Hmm.
Where's your Gary? Where's your Jack going?
Oh, oh, okay. Sorry, man.
I need
I
it.
was just being impressed by you instead.
I need it. Will it
Let's
come up right?
see. I wonder if you're right.
Yeah,
No, it's playing
that's for sure. You're right. Yeah, you're damn right on that.
I like it.
It's great.
So I don't know, man.
Hmm.
Is the whole bay a giant star map?
That's a lot of work.
It would be a lot of work. I mean, I get it, but I truly believe that some of the points are relevant. Like, what about this point?
I mean, was
Altair.
the bay was not all gone, so you
Oh yeah, in fact,
you take a deep breath and you chisel that stone out.
I had drawn
First,
a
you
line
drop a
across
big
the bay
stone out there.
because remember they talked about
Hmm.
prior to. Oh, in fact, I think it was Fred Nolan himself that said this all used to be shallow and it was reworked. And so
Oh,
I had drawn a line across there just to kind of see where that related. And so yeah, you could
oh,
place a stone out there
yeah,
if that was all
absolutely, you
dry
could.
land at one time.
Yeah.
And then your four dots or your four ice holes are really close to these four
Oh,
stars in the dragon's head. Oh, I know what led me to the bathymetry. Oh, maybe that's what underwater lidar is, bathymetry.
oh, okay.
And here is
Bath means
bath,
water.
bath meaning
It
water.
probably does. It probably like the root of it or something.
Yeah. And then here's the image that I captured it from. So I think you remember this.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, I basically, and then there's a second image of this. This.
That's the good thing about Zig. He always shows his work,
Yeah, I learned that in grade school.
right?
So this was the overlay of the island with the bathymetry stuff, and they had talked about, oh well, there's these anomalies out here that looks like somebody might have taken
Oh, that's
dirt
right. I remember
and dropped
that.
it. Remember that?
Oh yeah, all the scratches and the.
Yeah. So the scratches and the
Oh my
escarpments.
goodness, that was early too, wasn't it?
That was
Two
very
or
early.
three.
That was definitely season 3 stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there
Gosh.
was some artifacts being called out here, right? They artifacts, and they pointed this, and they called these boulders. The X's were boulders, and these were artifacts. Well, I'm gonna turn this image off here real quick again because I already have this drawn. So the yellow line is the outline of that bathymetry. Here's those escarpments. I mean, am I tripping, or are
I don't
those
think you.
artifacts falling on stars?
I don't think you tripping.
Are those artifacts
I
falling
mean,
on
they're
stars?
touching. It's touching.
Really close.
No,
And then there's another one over here, and is that a goose paw?
close. Or what else do they like to say it is? A boat. If you
Oh,
connect
yeah, the boat, or
the dots there at the end, or sail.
somebody else. Somebody else said it was as
Oh, it
above,
is
so
something
as
else.
above, so as above, so above, so below, as below. Thing also. So I don't know, Steve. Maybe I'm crazy,
Maybe.
or maybe I'm like really close.
Right. Well, I
And
mean, but once you start seeing, the same symbols over and over again,
yeah,
then you
well,
do
just the
start looking
relationships
for
of
them
things.
elsewhere.
Just the relationships of things. I don't know. So I thought I'd drop that on y'all at last because
Yeah.
that's like the coolest, newest thing I've been working on right there is trying to
Star
figure out
map of the bay.
how all these stars relate to everything.
And a star map
And now I want to know:
on the bay.
are there stars here? Are there rocks here? I don't know if you remember or not, but I talked about drawing a line from CA through here and those 4 or 5 different anomalies that showed up on the magnetometer. Let me see if I can bring it back up here real quick. Yeah, so if you draw a line from CA through this Sephiroth, it goes through this anomaly, this anomaly, this anomaly, and this anomaly. And it just happens that
Mm-hmm.
some of those anomalies are falling near stars also. Like, what is that? What is that? What'd they do right there? It's a pretty heavily worked area next to the road on lot 30. Oh,
Have they done much on lot 30 other than I know Gary's found some stuff on there, but other than that,
what did he find on 30?
it was
I don't know what he's found on 30.
I feel like for me, no, I feel like it was ox shoes.
Pikachu.
I think ox shoes and something else. Can't remember. I guess I need to watch my own.
Oh,
video
ox shoes.
reports.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay. I don't even have. I mean, they found those lots of different places.
lots of different places, but
Lots
yeah,
of different
I
lots.
think, but they
Yes.
were like just. I know he found some like two just west of the swamp.
Hmm. I know the lead bag seal was found on 32, which is technically the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Lots more questions, Steve.
Always.
Lots more questions.
That would be a good name for our episode as well. Because you know they have
Lots
the lots
more.
on the right.
I like it. Turn those off. So yeah, stars everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Where they land, does it make sense?
Seems to.
It is a little weird though, because it doesn't really attest to the whole Hyades. Oh, and by the way, I think I told you that I sent this to Christopher Morford and said, it appears your star chart, your North Star chart, aligns with the manuscript from Iceland. He said, nice.
Did he? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, he did.
that's how he responded to me, nice,
did.
with an exclamation mark.
Well, I mean,
So
you
like
know,
no elaboration, no
right.
nothing, just
Feel
nice.
feel free to verify my work or
Yeah,
something.
right.
Feel free to
Yeah.
say, yeah, you're right.
I
It
mean, that's
is.
affirmation for me, man.
I get though, just the nice, yeah, sure.
Just the nice. Yeah,
Anything,
the nice is
a
affirmation for
thumbs
me. Yeah,
up, even
nice.
just that,
Yeah, yeah,
anything.
yeah. So
Absolutely.
the more stuff that dude keeps posting, I swear it's all gonna lead to something eventually.
But if that's on the cover of his new book, then you'll know you did well.
Right? They'll be like, oh, I hope I at least get a mention in the book.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, he's co-author of the current, I'm assuming still bestseller, that would be the Jerusalem Files.
Jerusalem Files, yeah, sure. And then Corian posted that. Oh, that's good.
Keeping it
Corian posted
Zega
that picture.
past his
Corian
bedtime.
posted that picture today and said something about how becoming famous was getting tough because he now goes places and people recognize him from the hit TV show The Curse of
That's
Oak.
awesome.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
awesome.
I guess you know you made it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Aren't you that guy from Oak Island?"
Right.
Yes,
That's right.
I am. I am the finder of all things hidden Templar.
Right.
All right. Well,
Except
I
the
don't
stuff on Oak
know
Island.
where we at. Oh my God, an hour
We're
and 40 minutes.
hour and 40. I'm not. I don't stop Genius when Genius is happening. I don't stop it. So
We can just
if
get
you
carried away.
want me to stop it at a certain time, you got to let me know ahead of time.
No, it's all good. I just let it. Like I said, let's just let it happen organically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, folks.
As I
Well,
said
thank you for listening and paying attention. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's something you'd like to see, or feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on anything. I'm not scared of being corrected.
or
I
if
take
there's
constructive criticism very well.
If there's anything that we haven't talked about or that you've thought about but haven't seen on the show, or especially things that, I mean, we love the show, but they do mention something and then you never hear, there's no follow-up on it ever. So that does happen a lot. And so if you know of any of those, you can put those in the comments as well. And we will talk about them and see what we can find out.
Yeah, because we like to look down rabbit holes for apparently.
Absolutely.
Yep. Steve, thanks again, man.
Alrighty. You are so welcome. We'll do it whenever you want. Absolutely.
Yeah, when we have time and we have topics, we'll go down this road. So.
And we'll always have topics. There's always something to talk about with Oak Island.
Hey, as long as Chris Morford keeps posting star charts to his Facebook, we'll
giving
be
you content,
in business for a long
free
time.
Content.
That's right.
Gotta love it.
Free content.
Alrighty, so for Zig, I am Steve, Coach Steve Money, and this has been another Deep Dive.
Deep Dives.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. For more Zig, youtube.com/Don Capo Productions. We're out.